Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good people, I tell you this because we've seen this before. You know, we got Aries Spears over here because he's real eerie. Funny comedian, but of course he's controversial. They almost all are. But more importantly, Eerie decided to get really weird. And he did something that others really don't often do or see. Um, they go into these different lulls where they see something that's hot on social media and go, "Ooh, that's what's up. That's what I need." So they sit there, right? And they start going through the list of what all they got left. They do. It's really weird when you see it play out. You start like looking at your situation and go, "Well, that's kind of weird." Now, the problem in this situation that you see a lot of, um, well, you see it a lot. You get a lot of people who, for whatever the reason may be, they can't put two and two together. You know, you listen to Aries Spears and you can sense that he's just want to do like what a lot of other people are doing, is trying to get attention from it. And that's cool if you want to get attention, but when you start taking a route less traveled, you know, that kind of, it kind of takes the cake. Now, the way I look at it is quite, different than how other people would see things. It's just me. But when I listen to Aries Spears, I see and I hear I'm just talking because I want the attention. No different from everybody else, but it's just obvious. He was supposed to wait to the podcast, but he was so thirsty he couldn't even do that.
Aries Spears here. A lot of people have been asking me on the Instagram about my thoughts on the Katt Williams situation, and he did mention me, which was a head scratcher because I don't know what I did to him. I was going to save this for my podcast, but I might as well kind of get into it now. And basically, I'm going to repeat the same thing on my podcast. And, again, people ask me what I thought about it. And I'm going to say this, I think it's sad. It saddens me to know that my people, the people I love, Black people, as well as everybody else, but my people come first, Black people, we love drama. We love drama. We stew in it. We love it so much that we allow it to be detrimental to the progress of us and the culture. We absolutely love it. Because I'm asking myself, why did he do something that was both unnecessary and absolutely pointless? And in reading the comments, you know, it's I can tell we love drama by the shit we say, you know. Protect Katt at all costs. We gotta protect Katt. He the GOAT. He the GOAT. And I want to address both those things. All right, number one, the GOAT thing is a useless title. Every comedian, every entertainer, every performer is the GOAT to their fan base. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer are the GOATs to their fan base. Wanda Sykes, everybody he called out, Ricky Smiley, Kevin Hart, Chris Tucker, they're all GOATs to their fan base. I get called a GOAT and a legend all the time.
They're not GOATs to their fan base. That's people who are fans of them like them, but they never was. If you ask them who was the greatest of all time, they wouldn't be saying them. Now, a lot of people go see them because they like them, they funny, and a lot of people go to comedy shows really for the comedy show. They're there to see a whole bunch of acts and laugh and get up out the house and kick it. Take their girl there so she could shut up and say she ain't go nowhere. She want to show off her new dress and her pumps. Now, look. All this GOAT stuff, and you know, comedians didn't even talk like that. You know, like other about themselves. When people said GOAT back in those days, or like in their day, the greatest, they were honoring other people. You know, they would call Richard the king and all of that stuff. Like Richard Pryor never called himself no king of comedy, and you know, he never would say that. He just knew he was good at what he did. He knew it, felt it. A lot of them felt it. But in comedy, it's a lot of extreme jealousy. Because it's like all these spots and people got to do their sets. But to shine and be the main one that everybody got to see, you got to do something to stand out, to say you're you. That's saying something. Well, when you look at it in totality, you start saying to yourself, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to big up all the other entertainers in the game, and at the same time, he's not backing Katt. You know, he has a problem with him being the GOAT. But we'll let him finish.
You think I'm tooting my own horn? Look at my comedy clips. Go through the comments. Aries, you a GOAT. You a legend. While that's flattering, it's a useless title. There can only be one GOAT, and his name was Richard fucking Pryor. Yeah, I remember one of my favorite things to watch was the 30 for 30 with Shaq on ESPN when he was playing for the Orlando Magic. And in his younger days, he goes, when people would ask me whose team is it, when you're in your 20s, you care about shit like that. I had to let people know it was my team. But as I got older, I realized that's a useless title because the ultimate goal was to win a championship. So as far as y'all saying who the GOAT is, Katt is your GOAT. I understand that. But you really, that's a useless title. Then you say things like, yo, we got to protect Katt at all costs. Protect him at all costs. Did he cure cancer? Did he cure AIDS? Did he end racism?
Did you?
Did he figure out black poverty? Turn the fucking volume down. Protect Katt at all costs. Knock it off. Keep it in perspective. This is a news cycle. That's all this is. It's a news cycle. This ain't curing cancer. This ain't nothing to protect nobody about. Oh, he shook up Hollywood. He exposed Hollywood. Ooh, he told the truth. Again, to me, this is pointless. What did he do? What did he change? He didn't change anything. Steve Harvey is still going to be Steve Harvey. The success, the fame, the money, the momentum, the adulation, the respect, the adoration from the fans is still going to all be there. Same thing with Cedric. Same thing with Chris Tucker. Same thing with Ludacris. Same thing with Wanda Sykes. Same thing with me. Same thing with Ricky Smiley. Everybody that he named will still go on. Nothing has changed. All right? This wasn't life or world changing. It's a news cycle. And it's funny because this is why I say social media is both a blessing and a curse and dangerous. This phone, this device gives everybody a platform. Everybody gets to be heard, which is power. And everybody don't deserve power. I'm reading some of the comments about Kevin, and I'm reading stupid shit like, oh man, Kevin's fan base is turning on him now. Katt done made it so his fan base is turning on him now. Kevin ain't never been funny. He ain't funnier than Katt. Well, first of all of that is subjective. Secondly, the people are saying that Kevin ain't funny or he ain't funnier than Katt. We're never Kevin Hart fans to begin with. Don't get it twisted. Kevin Hart is a global phenomenon. He's globally famous. He can go anywhere in the world and sell out a whole arena or stadium by himself. The box office movie receipts don't lie. The tickets, the receipts at the ticket gate that you go through when you go to the arena sold out, don't lie. So for all these people that think that Katt has turned the world on its axis about Kevin, knock it off. Turn the volume down. Kevin is just fine. And again, those people saying that negative shit about Kevin were never fans to begin with. But you let people tell it, average Joes who now have power because of the phone and the platform. Oh, we must, Katt exposed the Illuminati. We must stop giving our money to these devil worshipers. We must take our power back. What power? You're not that serious. You're not that important. Stay in your lane. And last but not least, here's this. While we're all focusing so hardly on what Katt did, which again, I think was unnecessary and pointless, there's a young, beautiful black actress who we all know and love, who recently has been all over social media, literally in tears, because she's not getting the money that her white female counterparts get. Taraji B. Henson. So while we're all focusing on the Katt Williams hype drama news cycle, there's that. So my point is this. Instead of Katt using his platform and his mouthpiece and his power and his influence for drama and a news cycle that's going to be gone when the next hot news cycle comes along, why don't we use our powers and our platform to figure out how we as a community in Black Hollywood can come together and amass our own wealth, build our own empire, be like Jeffrey Katzenberg, Michael Eisenberg, and Steven Spielberg. I know I'm fucking one of their names up, but form our own DreamWorks. Tyler Perry is cool, but that's all we got. Why don't we figure out how to make it so that we don't have to come to them hat in hand and wait for them to feed us? And then once we make the money that we need to make building our own empire, funnel that money back into our communities and our ghettos and our neighborhoods and our streets so that we could build back up before the Tulsa, Oklahoma City massacre and have our own shit and be well-to-do. Wouldn't that be a better use of one's power and one's influence and one's mouthpiece than to create a news cycle? Because all Katt did was do what we as kids would do on the playground in elementary school or middle school. It was like a rap battle or a roast session. Katt said what he said, and my people, black people who I love, who love drama, got a chance to go, oh, did you hear what he said? Oh, he shook up the game. He exposed Hollywood to Illuminati. Oh, that's all he did. And black people, y'all live for that. Y'all live for that drama. We focused on that when we should be focused on how do we form like the Avengers and really take this motherfucker over. Because we know what we do when we come together and we get our heads right. Let that be the focus and not a temporary news cycle. And you know, I want to add this little tidbit because I know there will be people that will say in the comments, well, you know, what about you, Aries? You've been on social media and have blasted people and have said things before. And it's like, you know what? I have. And there are some things that I've said that I obviously regret. And then there are other things that I've said that I may not necessarily regret. But at the end of the day, I got to grow up. It's about growth. I'm tired of being a 48-year-old, 15-year-old. I got to grow up. And the last thing is this. You know, I know there are people, and this is what I mean when I say we love drama. There will be people in the comments that will say shit like, man, y'all don't want that smoke. All of the comedians he talked about are all running like roaches with the lights on. They don't want that smoke. First of all, listen, man, we're all professional comedians, which is to say we're all professional.
I apologize. I had a phone call I had to take, and we'll get back to the festivities of watching him cook, because that's what he wants to do. Yes, Aries, this is what he does. Aries Spears does this all the time, constantly. Nothing gives him more pleasure and joy than to be living in the moment where he can have something to talk about. And he's talking about like he didn't cure cancer. He's a comedian, just like you. Okay, you talking about when they talking about somebody's the gold and all this, you just said they said it about you. So if they said it about you, they said it about others. And it's their own opinion about where they feel things are or where it's at, right? But it doesn't mean that there's plenty of people on social media, they use that word loosely. Like the word means nothing to me. Like the GOAT is just people just use stuff and just say it over and over again because it makes them feel good or whatever reason may be. But I can care less about any of those antics. So I have no, no dog in this fight. My whole thing is let's try to do the best we can and, move on from there. The problem that we have is that when we see something, we don't know how to pretty much engage it in its rightful manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that you got to be able to engage an incident and put it in its rightful manner and put it in its rightful place. It's hard for some people to understand or even see things for what it is. They can't. It's hard for them to escape it. But anyway, let's listen to Aries.
Streets of Detroit, Streets of Chicago, LA, DC, Philly, New York, Atlanta, Birmingham. We all come from the same streets called struggle, poverty, humble beginnings. And in order for you to overcome that, you got to be fearless in your heart. Ain't nobody scared of Katt Williams. Ain't nobody scared. Ain't nobody worried about smoke. I'm just saying, let's use our powers for the greater good.
So, like he talking about, nobody's scared of Katt Williams. Nobody want no more smoke. Like, who said anything about you got to be scared of Katt Williams? That was never the question. No one I knew, anybody ever had something to say to talk about being afraid of him. Like, that makes no sense. I'm somebody who takes pride in knowing something or seeing something that others just can't fathom. You know what I mean? So I take pleasure in knowing that. Other people, they may not. So no. This is him trying to stay relevant. So he said this earlier, like when it first happened, because, like I said, happier than a pig in slop. To see something like this go in the way, in the direction it was turning. This gave him nothing but more pleasure. Now, for me, now it's funny. Now, well, he's gonna keep doing what he's doing until something hits. That's what they keep doing. They keep moving the goalposts till something hits. That's just it. There's nothing really super special. Now, what happens when you make that video and it don't kind of do what you want it to do? Now it's time to go off on my podcast. And now I got to say these things to get people to jump. They got to jump for me, or this whole thing is for naught. So that's why everybody's like tweaking and freaking out. They want people to jump when they say something. So if you're not jumping, like in shock and awe over everything you just heard, it's a failure. Complete, utter failure. So what's your play now? That's where they at now. So now he's like, okay, I got to save something that I'm going to say for the podcast to really make the people bite and get mad at me. So that Katt would probably have to address it. What really made Katt mad at Kev? Oh, Kev was on the radio and said he chose drugs. So he brought that up. So that's going to get Katt mad. So I need to poke that bear. That's what I really need to do right now. Let's see if that happens.
You'd have to be living under a rock or be the dumbest motherfucker in the world if you couldn't tell that Katt has had substance abuse problems. Stop the cap. Katt Williams is where Katt Williams is because of choices Katt Williams has made. That's fine with him in terms of where he's at and how he wants to maneuver. That's his business. Katt don't have to do what Katt don't want to do. So he don't have to, but his decisions are his decisions. And if he's happy with that, he's the one living in his own skin, you got to respect that.
Now, this isn't the first time.
Now, when they brought this to the forefront, right? He doubled down and went on a podcast show and said the exact same comments. I kid you not. He said the exact same comments on the show, talking about the kid beating him up, all of these different things, right? Once again, he reiterates Katt doing drugs. Now, when we start looking at big picture or the next picture, or this is the next thing we need to see, why no one ever states that? There's always something crazy going on. But how is this man going to talk about anybody on drugs? All you got to do is go look at Aries Spears and he was younger and look at him now. And you would think this dude got a liver disease. Some's out of order somewhere. Like he don't look normal. So take it how you want. I know what Aries Spears is trying to do. He's trying to invoke dialogue where hopefully Katt could say something about him again, get some more attention on himself, doing what he's supposed to do as a comedian. He got shows coming up. So get some of that energy on him. He want to rub himself in that Katt Williams juice. Need that Katt Williams juice all over me. So people can hate him. That's his thing. He wants to be hated. He loves it. That's what keeps him paid. It's like, hate me. I need you to hate me so I can use it. Well, anyway, I'm out. I don't hate y'all. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for hitting the like button. Go to the Patreon, which is Karceno for Life. We're going to go on to this, get into this a little deeper. I want to say shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life again. You got Bus Life Beef. You got Welcome to HD with the IITVs, Jag Sports with Jose Rodriguez, and Ticket TV. The Dreamers Pro. Slow down on them Gilbert Arenas things, man. God, Gil's Arena every damn 5 minutes. It ain't because I don't like Gilbert Arenas. It's just like, it's enough. But you can run your page how you like, brother. I'm just messing with you. Appreciate Charles and his work. Mondo Black TV. And I'm out.